people, we have talked about how we all need to have a solid brand, and brand is exactly tied to some of the superpowers that we all possess. So think about some adjectives, think about some keywords that comes to your mind when you define you. Once you have those words, weave that into a statement or two, and that becomes your brand. You take that brand and put that in the LinkedIn tag profile line. You also need to make sure that you have professional profile picture. People with professional profile picture will get 21 times more reviews than others. And we can use LinkedIn as a professional LinkedIn platform to build a brand for yourself, so you can get that next promotion, get that next project, or anything that you are thinking to achieve professionally in your career. So with that, I'm going to quickly change the gear now and would share my screen to walk you through what are the tips and tricks that you can apply to build a solid profile. Amna, Ganga, give me a thumbs up if you can see my profile. Awesome.
Can you see it? Yeah, I can see it now.
Wonderful. Thank you. So take a look. At the top, I mentioned to you at the beginning that whatever is our brand, we can actually embed that in our URL for on LinkedIn. So I added Pooja 3P, passion, power, and people. Wherever I'm gonna go, this brand is gonna go with me. No matter if I am here at Microsoft in the next 5 years or I am somewhere else, this brand would stay with me. It can evolve over the years, but it's not going to be something that I would just discard because I moved on to another role. I'll keep utilizing it. So I have kept the profile as Pooja 3P. Now, someone asked the question before, where do we add that brand? So if you would like, you can add that brand here. 3P, passion, power, and people-driven engineering and finance leader. For Ganga, it could be community builder. For Amna, it could be community builder, loving ambiguity, and people person. And if you have any specific certification, any specific accolade or achievement, and if you would like to embed that in your tag profile, you can also embed it here. If you are a speaker, moderator, passion for something that you think is professionally relevant, you can also add it here. What you see at the top is top voice. So this is a recognition given to 300 people every year out of a billion population on LinkedIn that states that this individual has consistently demonstrated quality content and kept creating it to build a community. So it took me 6 years to get where I am today, and it didn't start with me just posting here and there. I was really intentional right even at the get-go. So my advice to you would be, if you would like to be in a specific role, and if you have a dream role in mind, and you do know your superpowers at brand, so you have the base and you have the top line that you would like to achieve, think about what you are going through, what you are reading, what you are like working in terms of the projects. How are you learning from those projects that can be also useful for other community members? So never ever post any confidential stuff, because there are definitely social media guidelines based on the company that you're working in that you have to really abide by. And as soon as you would make sure that you already have a good knowledge about those guidelines, you keep creating content that fits into that brand that you would like to have. So I'll tell you, when I started building the brand, I thought to myself that what are the core values that I have? So I actually would like to give you another key takeaway. This, I'm showing you a laminated page that talks about reflection diary, and it says, what is my mission in life and what are the top goals that I would like to achieve? One was be the senior leader in a Fortune 500 company. Second, loving mom, wife, and a good human being. Third, be the top LinkedIn influencer. Fourth, STEM advocate. And fifth, encourage my kids and everyone whom I'm mentoring to be the best version of themselves. So I knew that these are the goals that I had. And whatever I'm going to pick, I would make sure that they align to these goals. So STEM advocate and be the top LinkedIn influencer. How do I achieve that? Genuinely by posting content that is going to be relevant to the fields that I'm interested in. So Ganga mentioned in the beginning that I have been on the finance side and I'm now on the engineering side. So over the years, I have intentionally started building content relevant to finance professionals, technology related, and now on the engineering side, talking about people problems, project problems, innovations that we are leading, some of the already published articles that Microsoft is producing. What is industry saying about AI? How are the different machine learning algorithms are working? So whatever that brand is, you can think of sharing and creating content to align to that brand. And I'll show you how. So if you look and down below, it says a couple of things here. First of all, Global Women in Tech, which ties to my STEM advocate goal that I showed, and then moderator, coach, board member, which ties to the community builder aspect that I was sharing. And then here, you can do multiple things, but when you do a search on me or on you, you would see some of the top skills. So these top skills are tied to the top key goals that I walked you through: keynote speaking, executive leadership, my passion for intelligence, data analytics, and engineering. So let's say, Karen, your skills are maybe project management, excellent communication skills, or be a LinkedIn influencer. So based on that, you might already be reading through some of Gartner research, Forrester research, or going through Harvard Business Review articles, or even when you are reflecting on your work over the weekend, you are realizing to yourself, my God, that leader was really inspiring, the way that she came across or the way that he demonstrated executive presence. I would like to learn from that leader and I would like to share what he or she did during that meeting without calling out exactly the name of that person unless it's confidential, right? And so that way you are also learning, but you are sharing and creating a post talking about how that leader had an impression on you. And then you can ask people to let you know in the chat as well, in the comment chat for your post, what was their experience when they were in that meeting. So slowly, people would start realizing that you are really a thought leader in the communication space or in the partnership space or in the leadership space. So that's one. So make sure the third key takeaway is take a note of your top skills that you have right now. And based on that, do an assessment with your top goals. Do they align? If they don't, then you need to start thinking about being intentional and start focusing on just few skills that you would like to build a mastery on and go and learn as much as you can. Learning should never stop. I'm a key believer in growth mindset concept that Carol Dweck, who is the author, she has written a book, and in Microsoft we are pretty big on learn it all. So whatever we will put it as a goal, we have to create a plan to achieve those. So you can also do a search on your top skills and start building content. Now let's go to the top. I hope so far no questions. If there are any questions, Amna and Ganga, stop me and then I'll answer those questions right away. Second thing that you can do is, do you see this open to work? Let's say one of you is going through a reorg in your team. You can actually click on open to and you can say that I'm looking for a role. Third, add profile section. Here you can add your education, position, any career break if you would like, and recommended is adding any features, licenses, patents, any courses that ties to those top skills. So all of us are doing security trainings, privacy trainings. Are they tied to our role? Or are they tied to the brand that we would like to build? So you have to be intentional. You cannot keep on adding all the projects and all of those accolades that you'll keep on getting. Are they tied to one of the goals that you would like to have? If yes is the answer, add them. Any recommendations that you have, if you have recommendations from your previous managers, previous leaders, or even your core team members, you can add those recommendations because they are telling someone who is reviewing your LinkedIn profile a lot about you. Before even they start working with you, they would build a perception of you based on those recommendations. And those recommendations are always going to come from genuine sources. So that's what you can do to add to your profile section. If you click on more, you can also start building a resume. So let's say you have a resume, but you haven't spent time building on your LinkedIn profile. You can start doing that as well. Going down below, you can also add some case studies to showcase your skills. So we talked about how you can use some keywords to define your brand. Use that brand to add it to your tagline. When people do a search, that those words will come as the first thing. So if you do a search on Bing for Ganga, for Karen, and for others, you would see what comes up. That's the image, that's the brand that you are building. And you would like that brand to show exactly what you would like it to be. And how do you build it? Consistently by creating content relevant to that brand. Moving down below, this about section. Whoever has that filled, give me a thumbs up. And let me have this here as well. I'm looking for some thumbs up. Whoever has built their about section, give me a thumbs up. Jana. Okay, couple, so 3 people. That's good. Thank you. For those who have not, please take some time to build this about section. So think of it. If we have an article to publish in a news outlet, and let's say they are charging you for each word, and you cannot have more than 250 or 500 words. What words you choose to describe you, your brand, and your unique experience that you have built either in your first year or over the years if you have a big decade experience. This is where you put that. And it should be in that sequence where you are highlighting the most recent one at the top. So for me, it's achievement-oriented tech leader with solid credentials, gold medalist, CFO award winner, blah, 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 this much experience. And then the thing that Ganga talked about in the beginning, community builder and women in tech. And that's what I would like to be at the top. And then my current role. So did you notice I didn't talk about my current role at the top? Because I am much more than this current role. And then you talk about community contributions, whatever your key hobbies are that are tied to professional discipline and what others are saying about you. So take a look at some of the influential leaders that are already in your network and go through their about section. You would get a sense of how people are using this to position themselves. And you can also spend some time to update your about section. Once you do that, then there is a featured section. I love LinkedIn just because it gives you a prime state to showcase who you are, what you bring to the table, and how you can be influential. So this featured section is already given to each one of us to share if we have been asked by someone to be on a podcast, if we have attended an event and we have some event pictures, if we have been invited to one of the team meeting where somebody would have taken a picture, as long as you have their permission and you talked about something that's tied to your professional goal, you can also put it there. Anything that you would like to highlight as key evidences. So think of it. For those of you who might already have a website, awesome. For those of you who do not, you can use this featured section to create a collection of those articles, those views that you would like to get highlighted at the top of your brand. So if you do not have any featured section, think about what do we want to highlight in the featured section. And you can then start arranging them in the chronological order. For example, when I clicked on mine, I'm intentionally keeping LinkedIn top voices at the top because this is the recognition that I got at the beginning of this year in January. Then after that, I have this the 10 most inspiring women during Tech Progress 2023. Did I not have any other post between these two times? No, I had multiple, but I do not want to highlight everything in the featured section. I just want to highlight the top ones that I think are going to add value to my brand. And then wherever you have gone, either for presentations or somebody called you to present something or whatever your professional career aspirations are, think about those and pick something from there and put that in the featured section. Arrange in the order that you would like it to be, because that's how it's going to be highlighting the importance of your skills. Moving on, I clicked on the backward arrow, click to go back. Hopefully it would work. Perfect. And then take a look. And once you go down, after the about section, after the LinkedIn feature section, then there is a section to talk about your experience. And I'll show you what I have highlighted in my experience. And I'll also tell you, go through the profile of some of the people that you really are inspired from. Those are the right people for you to take a look at to get a feel of what you can do as well. So in this activity section, you can take a look at somebody's profile and understand what are they trying to have as their core skills, and what are they trying to build? You can go through all of their posts, or you can also look at videos that they have posted over the years, any images, documents. If you do not have anything yet in the activity section, fourth key takeaway, I would like you to make a commitment to yourself. You would create a post talking about what did you learn from today's session. And it could be as simple as 1, 2, 3, 3 points. For someone who was putting in the chat, I would like to have a LinkedIn profile, solid one, but I am an introvert and I don't feel comfortable sharing. My advice to you would be, I'm not asking you to jot down each day what you did and what have you accomplished over the years and go and give me a detailed drop down of everything that you have delivered. No. What I'm asking you is, even if you are introvert, you are still working, right? You would like to have your brand. You would still like to get promoted wherever you are. So whatever you are comfortable with, there might definitely be a discipline, a domain that either you are learning or already have an expertise in. Start creating content based on that. Satya Nadella, CEO of Microsoft, is an introvert. Bill Gates, introvert. Sundar Pichai, introvert. There are a couple of people in my family, even my spouse, introvert. But introverts have this huge power. They have this thinking power which supersedes any other power that others have. So do not think introvert is just a personality style. What you bring to the table is much more than people who others can bring. So take time, think about what you're comfortable, and go and build it. And do not go and scroll through all the posts before creating your content. Create your post it, and then go through others. Because if you'll start going through others, especially for introverts, you would feel like you are not enough. And we are not living in this perfection world. We do not need to be perfect. Again, growth mindset. Whatever you know, whatever you have learned, create a post and share your knowledge with others. In the experience section, you can highlight your experience. Now, going down below, you can also highlight any other experience that you have, like for Ganga and for Emna, how you are starting the Seattle chapter, you can highlight that experience. In the education section, please highlight that, because people who would have skills and experience are 10 times more likely to get LinkedIn reviews. Then in the licenses and certification section, take a look. April 2023, I posted this generative AI for business leaders. AI is top of mind for everyone. It is one of my sought after skill as well, and that's a brand that I have. I would like to highlight to people what I did, especially to learn about AI and how the posts that I'm creating are helping other people to go and sign themselves up in other courses as well. So I'm 100% sure many of you have done ample certifications and courses in the last 1 year. But how many of you took the opportunity to create a post talking about what you learned and how it could be useful to others? Give me a thumbs up if some of you have done it already. I'm looking for those people who have done a certification or taken a course in the past 12 years, sorry, in the past 1 year, and have created a post sharing what they learned with the LinkedIn community. Okay, not even a single hand raise. What's that telling us? We can still go ahead and think about what we learned and share it with others to say, hey, by the way, people in the data analytics community, data science community, product mindset community, this is what we learned. What other courses do you offer? Or what other courses would you propose? And that would be a great one to use. Catherine, thank you. You added to your profile, but you did not post. And it's never too late. Why? Because what you learned is still staying with you, and you might be reaping the benefits. You can talk about, I did this course, I learned this course, or I did this certification this time ago, and I'm still applying the learnings. These were the 3 top learnings. I'm curious about what others have done in this domain. Can you share? Let's learn and share with each other and build the community together. Awesome. And you would get many reaction from people where they are going to also share what they are learning. So you can also, without searching, without doing your research, you can actually pick the one that they are doing because they are recommending you and they have the solid profile as well. Excuse me. Let's take a quick look at Q&A. and see if there are any questions.
Yeah, there are a
Yes.
couple of questions. I think Radia has this question that says, does the feature section available, is that available with the unpaid LinkedIn profile?
Yes, it is available.
Hmm. Okay.
What other
And then
questions do you have?
Yeah, and Catherine has this question about what's the recommended length about the about section. Also, I've seen some people listing keywords at the bottom of the section. There is already a skills section. Isn't that redundant to add skills and keywords to the about section too? So, any comments on that?
So I'll say a key skill section is just a highlight there. You can just add your top skills, no more than that. In about section, you can actually also explain if you would like, how did you apply those skills? So if
Mm,
I go and click on this about section, you would see it would open up a widget where you're getting 2,600 points. Sorry, 2,600 words. So you
mm,
have that much real estate.
mm,
For premium members, they have added this right with AI. Even if you didn't have it, even if you don't have it, you do not need to go for premium right away. You can actually create one based on what you think, and you can use Copilot to your assistants to create and update it. And once you have it, then add it there. And key skills, you can only add up to 5 skills at one time.
mm.
And you can arrange them. Others, if you will add, you would have to take them out, take others out at any given point in time. You can only have 5.
Got it. Leah
Yeah.
has another question. What sections of the profile that's apart from tagline are looked at by recruiters? If I want to show up for a certain role, like AI product management,
Yes.
what kind of keywords should I use and where should I use them?
Okay, great question. I'm gonna just put a caveat here. When we ask people to create their resume to apply for a certain role, we do not just say use the keyword so your resume would get selected. You have to be genuine. In LinkedIn, you can create your profile by highlighting top skills. But if you're not genuine about what you have as a top skill, and you would
Mm,
just create content and start sharing others' content related to the topic, you would not be recognized as a thought leader. You have to do your own research and have to create original content. Plus, you can share it from influencers. So, if you would like to have a role in the product management discipline, yes, your top desired skill would be product management, customer obsession. And then in the about section, you have to talk about how you have applied these skills over the years in different projects and what was the key result. Did you achieve 20% user experience, or did you receive, were you able to achieve 13,000 hours savings? What was the result of applying those skills? And once you have it, in the experience section, you can also talk about what were the key roles that you performed in the product management discipline. So when a new recruiter would come in and would take a look at your profile, they'll be like, okay, this person has top profile key skill as product management. They also have some product management experience in the past, may or may not be in the same level to which we are applying, but at least some experience. And they are also creating content tied to that. And that's a great way for you to
mm,
start building your brand. It does take time, it does take persistence, but you'll get there.
mm. This one is interesting, Pooja. I think you
Yeah.
covered this a little bit. VJ asks, does building your brand also mean posting more on LinkedIn and reaching out? I'm an introvert and I don't like to, do that a lot. How do you balance it?
So I would not ask you to jump from the cliff. What I'm asking is whatever you are comfortable with, create a plan and stick to it. If you decide to post once a week, then at least commit to posting once a week. If you decide to post once a month, I would strongly encourage you. What is that holding you back? You are sending so many emails related to your projects on a day-to-day basis. Then can't you take the charge of driving your career in your own hands
Mm,
and create 1 or 2 posts a week? How long
that's a
does
good
it
one.
take? And we are not
Mm,
talking about any other thing. We are talking about the role, the projects, the skills that you are and either an expert or you are learning.
that's a really good advice, actually.
Thank you.
One more from Vajiha.
Yeah,
Do you have any specific advice for students who are just starting out with their brand?
love it. So even for students who are starting out their brands, the programs, the learning activities, the clubs that they have joined definitely are creating that impact for them already. They might already be demonstrating some skills, either problem solving, collaborator, team builder, team leadership. So think about how did you demonstrate that leadership in a certain role or in a class project or when you were working on research presentation. And you can create a post. You can start thinking about creating a post to say, I led this program for this particular university. I was approached by two people. Three of us worked together and achieved three tangible outcomes. It showed me that I do not have to work in silos. I can work with the team and still get to the team outcome. Whenever I'll be a manager one day, I would remember that I applied these skills when I was at the university, so I can also apply it when I'll join the org. So here, what you're doing. If I'm a recruiter, I'm reading your content and I'm thinking to myself, okay, this person, even though he or she doesn't have industry experience yet, they have applied these skills at the university, so they are transferable, so we can ask them questions related to this skill when they'll come for the interview. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Good. What other
And
questions do we have, Ganga?
one more about what about folks in the job that are currently, doing the job search? Do you have any recommendation on how they should be approaching with respect to their LinkedIn profile, and any advice on um, how should they pivot as
Yes.
well?
So I'll say open to. Click on open to and it would say open to work. You can define what roles you're interested in. And at the same time, you can do a search at the top for roles like hiring roles, or you can describe product management jobs. You do the search, and then you will find out there are many jobs in your particular discipline that are already available, product management. And you can start looking at those results and start thinking about what are the other career profiles that people have. See, exactly, it just shows that how many roles are already applicable. So you can take a look at this person, job wanted. What they did is they actually used multiple hashtags and they said open to new opportunities. How many comments? 197. How many reposts? 7. So if that person was an introvert, if Brad Scotty didn't feel like they have the courage to post it, they would not get that visibility. They would just rely on in the back end reaching out on a one-on-one basis and sending messages to people like this,
Mm.
like how people have approached me. So either you can use one-on-one, which would be time consuming, or you can use one-to-many. Talk about very clearly if you are not doing something yet, or if you have not found your dream role, you can actually create a post talking about, hello, let me introduce myself on this platform. I am X. My brand is Y. I'm looking for roles in product management slash communication slash leadership slash sales. I have 10 plus years of experience and I have multiple people as recommendations available. Whoever has interest, they can reach out to me. And you can start tagging influential people who are already in top profiles. It would start giving you the visibility. And you would start getting contacted by people who are interested in at least having a conversation with you.
We are almost at time, so we'll take
Yeah,
one more question.
sure.
So Julia asks, are there insights you can share on how recruiters search for and find profiles on LinkedIn? Which
Yes.
sections are more important to fill with keywords? Does having bullets under your experience show your profile to more recruiters, or does having the company and role suffice?
So more than that, I would say you have to really focus on first, what is the first impression somebody would get when they'll go to your profile? So I have showed you mine. So maybe Ganga, if you are okay, I'm
Mhm.
gonna do a search. Hopefully my search button would work. I was going to do a search on your name and
Sure.
I'll show you Ganga and last name.
Narayan.
Perfect,
Yep.
Narayanan. So let's see. I am a recruiter. I'm
Mhm.
looking to hire people in leadership roles. I'm like, okay, Ganga, Principal PM Manager, Azure Women in Product Seattle chapter. Oh, this looks interesting. Let me dig in.
Mhm.
Oh, that's good. I do not care about how many followers you have. What I care about is how you have intentionally built your brand. An experienced product leader with a strong passion for building products that deliver customer service, lead the third party and Azure projects, served on career committee, and session coordinator, passionate about DI, DNI, also taking care of Seattle chapter, and she has multiple featured posts about Azure. So looks like she's very passionate about what she does, Azure Solution Platform, and all of those are related to Azure. So if I have anything related to cloud product management, she's a good candidate to reach. Let me see what she's doing in her pastime or thinking about creating a LinkedIn event. And she also has some Seattle chapter contribution. Oh, this is good. So show all post, take a look and get a feel of what has she been doing on LinkedIn. And once you go through this, you will get an experience of, okay, you will build an image of Ganga without even talking to her. See, women in product management, Azure, talking about with other women leaders, looking at being empathetic to people who are getting impacted. So it does tell me a lot about Ganga just by going through it. And even though she just has closer to 2000, let's say, followers. So what we are trying to tell you today is it's not about number of followers. It's about quality of the content, quality of the thought process, quality of your goals that you have in mind that you would use LinkedIn to create for you. And then I would definitely be interested. So she has done multiple courses, quick decisions, negative feedback. Maybe Ganga, you have to update with the recent licenses and certification, if not this year, maybe from last year. And you are doing volunteering work as well, recommended by 28 people. That's pretty good. And recommendations, 7. Oh, that's awesome. And who has given recommendations? General Manager, Microsoft. Wow, senior engineering leader. So what is there to doubt?
So it looks like it's a definitely an overall um, profile that we all need to
Yes.
focus on, and then make it as genuine and as crisp. Make sure that what we are passionate about is reflecting across the profile. So even with the posts that I make,
Yes.
should kind of match with what my goals are, what I am passionate about, and that kind of gives a very cohesive story about who I am overall as a person.
That's correct. And if you
Mm.
have not created a post yet, this is the way to go. You click on home, go and start a post. You can add media, you can add document, you can create an event, or you can also celebrate an occasion. You can give kudos to others as well. There is so much to talk about. And this feature is underrated, but it is very much applicable to all of us who are either working as full-time professionals or who are still in the university and thinking about when we would go and get a job. You can actually create a post, schedule for later, and you can do it over the weekend because you do know during the week you're going to be super busy working on dissertation, research presentations if you're in college, and working on your projects if you're working full time. So you can create a post, schedule for later, define the date, define the time, and boom, you do not have to even log into LinkedIn to have that post getting posted on Monday, Tuesday next week, or Monday through Friday. You can actually post it as far ahead as you would like. Whenever you have ample time, just book half an hour and post it. My best advice that I have given, that I also apply it, even if your work week gets really busy, take some time on Friday, half an hour, dedicate it to yourself, create a post, and then either create a post on Monday or schedule it to be published on LinkedIn on Tuesday. There are different days and time when LinkedIn algorithm would help you do a more outreach. Normally, they recommend Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday before 12 p.m. your time zone would be the best to reach at. Friday, there is less interaction, and it's always good for you to even follow influential people, because when you're following their post, you're not just gonna say thanks for sharing. Talk about what you found it insightful from their post. And since they have so many followers, if your post a comment is insightful, you would also start getting following from there.
I didn't even know about this feature. I mean, I clearly need to spend some time on LinkedIn, but
Yeah.
a
Hopefully
lot.
this would help. Yes.
Yeah. With that, I think we really appreciate your time, Pooja. This was an amazing session. I thought like there are so many things that we usually don't pay attention to,
Yeah.
that I feel is such an important thing for us to as we think about ourselves as a brand, and because we're all in this industry together, it's important that we establish what our professional and personal brand looks like to the community as well. So
Yes.
I really appreciate the time that you took and to educate this community. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your time. Amna, do you want to add something?
No, just thank you very much. And the underlying thing is that there's a lot out there. Thank you for all the tips and tricks, Pooja. And I guess we all need to spend some time and some love and care, give some love and care to our LinkedIn profiles.
Yes, thank you. And one suggestion, one ask to each one of you is whatever you have learned, if you can create a post talking about what you learned and share it with your network, think about the impact that we all can create. So we can all be community builders if we would like to continue this tradition of sharing our knowledge and experiences with others. And you can tag each other as well. We were in this session together, learned this, and this is the best way for you to give back to the community. Remember, the more we give, the more you receive. So you focus on giving, and I would not say karma, but it would actually come back. Universe would share, bring it back to you. So be the positive community builder. Thank
Thank you
you.
so much, Pooja. That was really a great way to end the session. We'll follow up with. I know there were more questions. We'll try to see if there are ways to kind of answer it. But thank you, Pooja. Really appreciate your time, and I hope everyone kind of took at least one or two learnings from the session. So thank you once again.
You're very welcome, and thank you for having me. All the best. Thanks,
Absolutely.
everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.